In 2025, it is easier than ever to find good quality headphones that you don't have to break the bank for. What's up everybody, Corey with Freaky Tech Reviews here. Today we're taking a look at the One More Sonoflow Pro over-ear headphones, and I'm really excited to check these things out because for the price, you're getting a lot of good stuff with this. So let's check them out. So inside the box, it's very simple. You get a hard-sided carrying case, the headphones themselves, and a USB-C charging cable. So right off the bat, the carrying case that you get with these headphones is really nice. It has a nice hard-sided shell to it, and the zipper is nice quality. It almost reminds me of like a YKK zipper for any luggage fanatics out there. It's got this nice loop right here, and it's actually very comparable to the Sony 1000 XM4s, which is a big comparison for these headphones that I'm going to showcase to you in just a little bit. But here on the inside, we have the headphones themselves. On the Pros, you can get them in black or kind of a dark kind of navy blue. But there's a good looking headset, and then you get your USB-C, and then I think it's a 3.5mm audio cable that's also in there for wired listening. But I've got a problem with that I'll showcase in just a little bit because it's not actually 3.5mm audio. Let's actually take a look at it real quick and see. So as you can see right here, it is not 3.5mm that plugs into the actual headphones. This one right here plugs into your headphones. This one right here is 3.5mm audio, which is actually kind of frustrating, right? I just want to be able to grab my existing 3.5mm audio cable, plug it right into my headset and be able to listen to it. So when I was testing it on some gaming the other day, it was really annoying that I was like, what do I do with this? And at the time I hadn't quite realized that it came with this cable yet. So I'm glad that it does, but if you lose this, it's a real pain. So that's definitely a knock on them. And right here, you can see that if you look at the actual audio hole here, this is a 3.5mm one, and it just straight up doesn't fit, right? So you've got to have that smaller version of it, which is a bummer. Now these headphones use a 40mm DLC dynamic driver. This type of driver is known for delivering more clear and detailed sound with improved durability over standard dynamic drivers, which is really good when you're purchasing a budget headset. You want to know that it's going to get some kind of life out of it. For codecs, it does support LDAC, AAC, and SBC. LDAC allows for higher resolution audio over Bluetooth when paired with compatible devices, and we'll talk about the Bluetooth experience here in a little bit because it's actually quite good. One of the things that's interesting about these headphones is their ANC modes, because there's actually 3. Now normally I'm using something like AirPod Pros, which either has ANC on or pass-through mode, right? So those are the 2 options that you get. These have 3, and you get ANC on, pass-through mode, and then just ANC off, which just gives you how much control over how much noise you want to block or let in, which I actually really appreciate that. For battery life, One More claims you can get up to 70 hours without ANC activated, and then 50 hours with ANC activated. So it's a good battery performance from what they're saying. I have not had any issues from how long that they actually last from a battery perspective, but I haven't had a chance to really test it to see, hey, does this thing last more than 2 days? It's kind of hard to measure that, Now for charging, it does boast that it has USB-C fast charging, and it says that a 5-minute charge gives 5 hours of playback. I did find this fairly accurate, that it would charge pretty quickly enough to go ahead and give me enough playtime where I didn't really have to worry about it dying on me anytime soon. So I think from that perspective, they're actually pretty solid in the battery realm. For connectivity, they use Bluetooth 5.3, which, they're pretty easy to connect with. There's not really any devices that through Bluetooth aren't easy to connect with, so no issues there. And for the microphone, it actually has a 5-mic array that's used for both ANC and then also voice calls, and we'll talk about some of the clarity here in just a little bit. I'm never truly impressed with these types of headphones and using them for voice chats, but it is available there if you need it. Okay, so right now you're actually hearing how the headphones from these mics sound. They're okay. They're not bad. They're actually a lot more clear than I expected for a budget headset. So I think they're definitely serviceable. As far as latency, they're not bad. I've done some calls with them. They're not quite as good as like the AirPod Pros that I'm used to talking through from a latency perspective, because I use an iPhone, so that's always going to be better. But honestly, I'm not, unimpressed with how they sound. I think they're actually quite good. I wouldn't use them in a professional setting, but for everyday calls and anything that you might need, I think they're pretty good. But definitely let me know down in the comments below what you think of the mic quality of this headset. Now for the wired mode, one quick thing that while I'm not happy that it's not a true 3.5mm audio jack, I will say that you can use them when they are completely dead as headphones if you plug them in that regard. So that's actually kind of something that makes up for it a little bit, but I would still rather have like a normal universal 3.5mm audio input. Oh, it's frustrating. I have no idea how long my background was like that. My apologies. You can also connect to 2 devices at once and then switch between them manually without disconnecting, which that's okay. You know, it's not bad. I've seen some devices that connect to quite a bit more, especially because I'm so used to the Apple ecosystem. So AirPods, I have them connected to my Mac Studio, my MacBook, my iPhone, my iPad, my other Mac Mini. So it's like, you know, that's what I'm kind of used to. So 2 is great, I guess. Now for the physical buttons on them, it's actually pretty limited. There's only 4 buttons actually on these headphones, and they are all on the right ear cup. So right here you have the power button, and then over here on the other side you have volume buttons, and then you have your noise cancellation button. And the power button is also going to be how you actually connect via Bluetooth. Here's the little mic hole right here, which is kind of dark and tough to tell, but you know, from a headphone perspective, they're actually pretty limited on physical inputs, which I'm a fan of. I like that sleek look and not having a ton of options to, you know, control them with, which is fine with me. But overall, they're a good looking headset. Now, one of the most obvious comparison is going to be Sony's WH-1000 XM4s. They're really, you know, one of the more popular over-ear ANC headsets on the market. So I've actually got a pair with me right here in the blue that we're going to take a look at. So from a case perspective, nearly identical. I mean, you can obviously see where One More was inspired. Their case is a little bit bigger, but it's not as good a quality. I mean, Sony's case is just a better quality case. So for the headset themselves, you know, very similar looking headsets. You can tell that the ear cups are very, you know, close in size here. The actual, you know, head strap, I mean, you can really see where the inspiration came from. But I gotta say, let's get into the actual testing of these One More headphones because they really surprised me. You know, from a physical standpoint, we'll talk about how they actually feel first. The actual like padding on this and the material that's covering the padding of the ear cups and the head strap right here, it's not good quality, right? It feels kind of, not sticky, but like it just feels kind of like a rubbery silicone. So I think they're gonna get really hot and not breathe very well, which is something for me. I just naturally run warm. So that's kind of a bummer for me. I don't like how these feel, especially if you look at the XM4s. I really like the padding around here, and it's just a better quality. I don't know if these are going to flake at some point or how they're gonna hold up over time. So from a physical standpoint and actually how they feel, definitely not where these shine, but they do make up for it in sound. I'll dive into that in just a little bit. I also wear a size 8 hat, and one thing that's nice is that these actually do fit quite well on a larger head. So here they are at their largest size, and you can see there's actually some room to tighten even just a little bit. But for big heads, very, very comfortable, no worries in that regard, because these are typically the type of headphones you're gonna be wearing for a while, and you want them to be comfortable for the long haul, right? So that is the, you know, actual physical review of the headset. I don't think when you pull it out of the box, you're gonna be impressed with how it feels, to be transparent. However, once you get them connected and actually start listening to them, this is where it starts to change a little bit. The Sonoflow Pros are surprisingly close to the XM4s. I would say that they even have a tad more punch in the bass and just kind of actually overall a bit more of a clearer feel. But the XM4s actually feel a bit more balanced, and it's kind of hard to share exactly how it sounds until you've heard it for yourself. But these Sonoflows actually really surprised me considering they're half the price. So from a sound quality perspective, music, podcasts, YouTube videos, whatever you're listening to, it's gonna be a great experience on the Pros. But when we talk about the ANC part of it, that is where there's a big difference. Sony's ANC is just noticeably better. That's to be expected. They have a lot more money that they can put into making sure that it works. I mean, this headset is actually, what, 5 years older than these Sonoflow Pros, and the ANC is just still that much better, given their price and development of a company the size of Sony, right? So I will say that I don't like the functionality of the ANC on the Sony headset, because unless there's another way to do it, they're always in noise cancellation mode unless you hold your palm against the right ear cup, and that gives you pass-through mode. With this headset, it's just the click of a button, which is really handy. So you just switch between ANC, non-ANC, and pass-through. So I really like that functionality from the Sonoflow Pros, and I think in that regard it's better, but the quality of the noise cancellation is not better. So when we talk about are these actually worth purchasing, I'm going to talk about them by themselves and if they're worth purchasing, and then like if you actually are considering between these two headsets, which one you should consider. By themselves, I think these are a really good deal. I think, you know, 70 to 80 bucks for this headset, you're going to be impressed with how they sound. I can confidently say that. When it comes to choosing between these two headsets, I don't think that the XM4s have enough of an edge on what they bring to the table to justify the price. And that is a big thing to say. I get that. And this is not because One More sent these out to review. I don't care if they like or dislike this video. I just think that the sound quality is actually that good in comparison to the XM4s. From that alone, I cannot recommend the XM4s over these. But because the sound quality is just that close and that good. Now, from a build quality, how long they're actually going to last, the noise cancellation, if those things weigh more to you and they're more important, XM4 is all the way. But these are just so surprisingly good that I think anybody that got these would be happy with what they have as soon as they connect and start listening to music. So that is it for the One More Sonoflow Pros. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you have experience with this headset? I mean, have you heard these before and do you like them, or what other budget headset brands do you like? You know, I kind of been keeping an eye on some of One More's product offerings. I've got some of their touchscreen earbuds, which are kind of cool. And if you want to see those reviewed, definitely leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts. But yeah, I just want to hear from you on if you like this headset or, you know, what you would prefer. But thank you so much for watching today and spending some time with me on the channel. It's been a real pleasure having you here. Again, I'm Corey with Freaky Tech Reviews. I'll see you next time. So real quick before you go, YouTube thinks that you might like this video or this video. So if you want to keep exploring the channel, then be sure to check those out. Have a good one.